I'm Estelle Thomson, your mistress of radiance, and this is Walk With Me in Butterfly Alley, a Chic West podcast revival. This is a 10-minute audio series about living a meaningful, sparkly life. One walk, one idea, one story. In each 10 minutes mini episode, I'll share with you what I've been thinking about, what life is teaching me, and maybe a question for your own reflection. So grab a coffee, lace up your shoes, or simply settle in. Let's take a walk together, unfiltered. Welcome to Butterfly Alley. Hold up! Before we begin, this July, I'm offering Radiance Gentle, a 5-week online journey for women who are craving a softer relationship with their bodies. Together in my sparkly Zoom room every Wednesday in July from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m., we'll explore body maps, an expressive art therapy technique merged with Satya Yoga that supports nervous system restoration. If you've been feeling exhausted, overstimulated, or disconnected from yourself, Radiance Gentle is an invitation to slow down, listen deeply, and come home to your body. You can learn more at estellethomson.com under online offerings. Now let's get back to our walk. All right, everybody talks about perimenopause. Well, not everybody, but it seems my algorithm loves to talk about perimenopause. But you know what nobody's talking about is fibroids, which today, what I'm going to share, super personal, but I just want to make a space for it. So in my perimenopause journey, of course, I felt some bloating and, my body changing in general, like my breasts definitely heavier and yeah, more soreness. And I had really bad sleeping for a while, but magnesium pretty much helped with that. And so I was really feeling bloated. And so, being the yoga and dance and somatics teacher and art teacher that I am, I started having a dialogue with my pelvic girdle. So, I do what's called body map. So, I did tons of body map. And what's happening is I also have pretty bad scarring from my C-section. I had a crash C-section with Tommy. Tommy was born at 26 weeks of gestation. And, what happened was his little foot was literally at the entrance of where his head was supposed to be. So I had to have a crash C-section. And I didn't heal very well. And I have pretty bad scarring. And I had been on top of bloating, had been really, I'd been going to pelvic physio and I was doing my exercise and working with my scar. But, the Estelle way, it wasn't just really, I didn't care about the look of it, to be honest. It was more, I knew there was like knotted things there, more on a psychological, spiritual level. And touching it always felt really shadow for me. Like it was hard to touch it more than look at it. I don't think it's kind of like a tattoo having a scar, right? Like the more, like I don't really see it in the mirror anymore. Like it's just such a part of me that part wasn't hard, but it was really like in terms of touch. And whenever I touched it, there was a lot that came up for me. So I started doing heavy body map, and body map is a genius practice because it really owns in on the synergy of the association you have with that part of your body. Also, it merges sketching, it merges journaling, and it merges intuitive movement, free dance. And so I did so many body map with my C-section scar, obviously, and created embodied painting with that, and then this newfound kind of bloating. And I talk about this with my students often. It's a bit of a curse to be so highly aware, I think, sometimes. And as a yoga teacher, in a way, that's what I'm trying to master. But I'm so sensitive too. Like, I know right away if something's off. But anyways, and then this bloating, I just attributed to, again, I hadn't changed my diet. I hadn't changed like really anything, except that I knew my hormones were probably, being in the perimenopause, like chaos that, everybody's talking about. So then I went to pelvic physio, and she had me do all kinds of things like internal and over. And I was really diligent. That's something I excel at. If you give me homework, no problem. I'll incorporate it in what I'm already doing. And so I went there because I was like, I told her, I was like, there's a bump there. Like I feel a bump in my uterus. And she thought it was fascia from my C-section scar, which it made sense. And she made, you know, she made me do exercises. I was like, yeah, this is all muscle. It's fascia for sure. Again, which made sense because this is something I've been, really working with, even last year, with my word of the year being bold loss, and the shadow of my word of the year being bold loss. The word of the year being bold love, and the shadow being bold loss. All this to say, she's like, oh, just in case, let's just, have you go take an ultrasound. So I also went to my family doctor, and like she thought it was lipedema. I had lipedema in my belly, which also can make sense, right? Like, I don't, like, genetics wise, like looking at my family, lipedema kind of track too. So I was like, okay. So then I went to the ultrasound, and I knew right away. Like, they can't tell you anything, right? The ladies that do the ultrasound. I knew she was seeing something that, like, I can see. And it was just awful. I'm just so sensitive. Like, I'm able to pick up on energies and emotions right away. It's one of my gifts. And so I came out of that appointment. It was awful because that weekend Scott and Isaiah were away on a ski trip, and I was by myself. And oh my God, do not Google. Do not do it, because I had cancer for sure. Okay. I had cancer for sure that day. It was set. I had uterine lining cancer, and it was a whole thing. And the symptom, everything tracked. But that day, I was feeling so lost and a bit of shock. And I was like, I know what to do. And I started dialoguing. I went to my body maps. And I went and I body mapped my fibroids. I danced to my fibroids. I danced to that uneasy, like, stressful. And it was awful because it kind of put me back to this like unknown place. With Tommy, we had a lot of those in hospital when we were in NICU, and the 2 years following, where we were constantly in and out of hospital. But this, yeah. And I remember I had to teach the next day, a huge group, like 50. It was, I had to put on my big girl pants, everybody. And I was like, I'm a professional, and I know I can facilitate this. And I did that. But that whole Friday, I'm so glad I took 2 hours, and I danced my emotions. Like, I danced this uneasiness, and and I felt so much calmer after. Um, and so thank God for body maps and creating a dialogue. Like, I feel this is something that, again, we're not taught. Like, if something's wrong with something's not right. Like, just talk to that body part. Like, what's up? Like, what do you have to tell me? 10 days later, my doctor called me back, which I knew by then, if it would have been urgent, she would have called me back right away. So it wasn't. So I knew. And she told me I had 5 huge fibroid. And as a joke, she told me it was really crowded in there, which I laughed at that. One of them is the size of a lemon. Great. And 4 of them are really, actually, they're all really big. So I have to go to, she's my doctor. She's from England. So she calls it Gwynny for gynecology. So I have to go. I'll keep you I'll check in, but I don't see the gynecologist until the end of August. And then they're going to decide if there's, you can shave them off if you don't want a hysterectomy. Wait, is that what it's called? Yeah, I think so. But, all this too, it's like I know I've been living with them for a long time. Like it was a shock to learn that I had that. And, but also I was like, I think this is not new. Like I've been living with that for a long time. I'm glad I know now. I'm glad that I have resources to help me from a mental health point of view, also from a physical point of view. And if anything, like after that news, like I take so much better care of myself now. And you know me, I'm talking to my 5 best friends in there, my 5 fibroids friend, and I'm still doing body maps. And so I'll keep you in touch. But yeah, fibroids. Who else has them? After that, a few of my girlfriends were like, "Oh yeah, my cousin is like one the size of a small lemon, like or a small melon." And I was like, "Oh my god!" So a lot of us can have them, from what I understand. For we don't even know we have them, and my understanding is that after menopause, they kind of shrink, and it's linked to estrogen and all that. But anyways, so this is what I'm going through. So this whole like perimenopause journey, but now the day I learn I have 5 besties in there, my 5 fibroids. Okay, thanks for walking with me in Butterfly Alley. Bye, see you next time.